The elderly keeper's eyes flickered open as he regarded Zane and the text he sought.
The chaotic insects record, that will cost you 15,000 contribution credits.
Sir, as the current Dragon Envoy of Newland, I'm entitled to exchange for one cultivation method without cost.
The old man's gaze sharpened with newfound interest as he assessed Zane more carefully.
The Dragon Envoy of Newland, you say? Show me your seed. I need to verify your information.
Zane channeled his vital energy, producing a thread of dark yellow aura from his body. This wasn't merely a simple energy manifestation. It was an intricate identifier containing detailed information about his status, one that no ordinary person could possibly replicate. It served as the Wormhaven Palace's foolproof verification method.
Indeed you are. Hold one moment while I retrieve your copy.
The elder soon returned with a bundle of scrolls, his expression serious as he prepared to issue a warning that every practitioner knew to take with utmost gravity.
Remember this well. Cultivation methods of the Wormhaven Palace are for personal use only. Teaching them to outsiders will result in punishment at minimum, and at worst, the complete destruction of your cultivation.
I understand completely.
Without delay, Zane returned to the Newland space to examine his acquisition. Opening the scroll, he found himself faced with an extensive ranking list of demonic insects, each entry more terrifying than the last. According to the ancient text, even a mere 10,000 of these creatures could bring an entire empire to its knees, while larger swarms could completely devastate whole regions. Rank 72, Ghost Knife. Mantis, these fearsome creatures, match an adult human in size, their twin blades sharp enough to slice through any defense. Protected by iron-like armor, they stand undefeated against any being below the Martial King level. Rank 55, Six-Winged Centipede. Their unique six-winged structure supports an indestructible armored body. The entire creature radiates intense cold, capable of generating and expelling freezing air that can flash freeze their surroundings. Rank 21, Fire-Eating Bug. Though merely thumb-sized, these mindless creatures emerge from the depths of magma itself. Immune to flames, they consume fire at will, leaving devastating trails of destruction in their wake.
There must be something about the verdant frogs in here.
But as Zane reached the end of the ranking list, disappointment settled in.
I really thought I'd find something about verdant frogs, especially since they grow from seeds.
Just as he was about to move past the introductions, something caught his eye. An entry that would change everything he understood about his mysterious insects. Third place, the Netherworld Bug, a species that defies natural law, growing from seeds and practicing cannibalism. Upon maturation, they transform into seeds that flourish in mud. Their true origins remain unknown.
This sounds exactly like the verdant frogs.
Zane eagerly examined the detailed description, noting striking similarities to his own insects. Their invincible nature, their voracious appetite that spared nothing in their path. Even their appearance in the provided illustration matched perfectly with his specimens. Legend speaks of the Netherworld Bug's origin in a vast macro world of the boundless universe. Their emergence triggered a catastrophic pandemic, consuming everything in their path. Both demonic beasts and martial artists fell prey to their insatiable hunger, with no distinction between the powerful and the weak. Even the mightiest beings of that universe proved powerless against these creatures' relentless advance. Their only recourse was to cast the bugs into chaotic space, leading to their dispersal across countless worlds. To this day, the mere mention of Netherworld bugs strikes terror in the hearts of universal inhabitants, feared more than the most malevolent spirits.
This tale seems rather far-fetched. Decimating entire populations across the boundless universe? Even if it's exaggerated, the similarities are undeniable. The verdant frog must at least be related to these Netherworld bugs. This could be the key to unlocking their true potential.
Understanding the critical importance of what lay before him, Zane began preparing for the ceremony detailed in the scroll. The text warned explicitly about the dangers of failing to establish proper control. Once these insects experienced a population explosion, they would turn against their master without hesitation. Only the most powerful contract-forming ceremony in existence could prevent such a fate. With calculated precision, he arranged the prescribed materials around the verdant frog vines. Drawing a small knife, he cut his wrist and employed his vital energy to manipulate the blood, suspending it in the air like a crimson stream. This blood would form the foundation of a contract so powerful, it would bind not just these creatures, but hundreds of generations to come.
This contract must take root in their very bloodline. Only then will their loyalty persist through centuries of reproduction. Condense.
The suspended blood transformed into an ancient rune, radiating light before dissolving into a blood fog. The surrounding materials dissolved into pure energy, merging with the mist before being absorbed completely by the verdant frogs.
That should do it.
Though the full effects would take days to manifest, Zane didn't hesitate to issue one final command to his insects.
Kill any unauthorized intruders in this space, whoever they are, without any exception.
With his insects secured, Zane departed the space, setting course for the heart of the Wormhaven Palace. There stood an immense structure that dominated the landscape, the Domain Tower, a marvel that stretched endlessly skyward, covering an expanse of dozens of kilometers. Created by Old Dragon King Cassius Gray himself, this extraordinary tower wasn't confined to a single location. Its presence extended throughout all branches of the palace across the vast mystic continent, each section containing powerful nature elements of the macro world and the precious Deca itself. The tower stood as a testament to a time when the Wormhaven Palace's dominion was absolute. During this era of unprecedented power, Cassius Gray had dealt mercilessly with any who dared to challenge their authority. The bodies of these vanquished experts now resided within the tower's depths, their very presence contributing to its mystical properties. Even in death, these fallen experts served a purpose. Their corpses, though long lifeless, retained incredibly powerful Decas. The Domain Tower's unique properties, while containing this essence, couldn't fully dissipate it. Instead, it persisted in mysterious forms, creating an environment where those who sought to comprehend the Deca could achieve twice the progress with half the effort.
This is exactly what I need. A place where every moment of training yields double the results. Hard to believe the great old Dragon King fell to Garrett Flynn's ambush. Just shows how quickly things can change.
Standing before the towering structure, Zane couldn't help but reflect on the twists of fate. The Domain Tower stood as a testament to both the might and vulnerability of power. The Domain Tower was more than just a structure. It was a symbol of the Wormhaven Palace's influence across the entire Mystic Continent. Every branch of the palace had its own tower, each containing precious elements of natural power.
To take down Garrett Flynn, all will need to surpass even Cassius Gray's power. No small task, even with the tower's help.
This wasn't a place for casual visitors. Even regular elders needed special permission to enter, let alone ordinary dragon envoys. Zane's position as Dragon Envoy of Nuln had earned him this rare opportunity. As he approached, the tower's true scale became apparent. It stood like the legendary Mount Axis of myth, a pillar so mighty that its collapse would bring down the very heavens themselves. Its peak vanished into the clouds, making it impossible to gauge its full height.
Halt! This area is restricted. No unauthorized entry permitted in the tower.
A brilliant meteor of light streaked down from above, materializing into a formidable figure before Zane. The guard was a man in his 50s, his muscular frame radiating power. His aura was like staring into an endless abyss, a depth so profound that Zane, despite his considerable abilities, couldn't even begin to gauge its limits. Such was the mark of a true martial king-level expert, far beyond the realm of ordinary practitioners.
They wouldn't trust the tower's security to anyone less than a Marshal King expert. And judging by his aura, he's no ordinary one either. Sir, I'm the Dragon Envoy of Newland. I've been granted permission to train within the tower.
Dragon Envoy of Newland? Let's see your proof of identity.
Zane channeled his willpower, manifesting the dark yellow aura that contained his credentials, a foolproof identification method that recorded everything from his status to his contribution credits.
Your credentials check out. I see you haven't used your entry privilege yet. You may proceed, but listen carefully. You've got 2 months, not a day more. And here's a piece of advice you should remember. The Deca corpses in there vary greatly in power. Some contain such concentrated energy that they could overwhelm an unprepared practitioner. Choose wisely what you try to comprehend.
As Zane stepped through the entrance, he found himself enveloped in a thick gray fog that obscured everything from view. This mist served as a transition between the outside world and the tower's unique internal dimension. After walking for about 10 minutes through the dense fog, the surroundings suddenly brightened, revealing something extraordinary. A blazing sun hung in a cloudless sky that stretched endlessly in every direction. Beneath his feet lay soft earth, with a gentle breeze stirring in the distance. This wasn't merely a tower's interior. It was an entire realm unto itself.
What in the all heavens and hells? This isn't a tower at all. It's an entire world packed inside. No wonder the Wormhaven Palace is such a powerhouse. They've managed to create an entire universe within each of their towers. This kind of power, it's almost beyond comprehension.
Just as Zane prepared to activate his vital energy for flight, he made an unsettling discovery. The energy within his energy center had become completely stagnant, as immobile as a frozen pond.
Oh, come on, not this vital energy ceiling nonsense again. I hate when this happens. Every time my power gets sealed like this, trouble isn't far behind, like that 2-month ordeal with Rebecca in the Serene River. Well, if I can't fly, looks like I'm hoofing it the old-fashioned way.
Though the tower appeared to cover only dozens of kilometers from the outside, its interior stretched for hundreds, possibly thousands of kilometers. Each level was its own vast world, with unique properties and challenges. The lower floors contained only traces of natural power, mere whispers of the forces that shaped the world. Such minimal energy would be far too weak to benefit someone of Zane's caliber. The true treasures waited above, on the 5th floor and beyond, where the Deca corpses of fallen experts resided. These weren't ordinary remains. When exceptionally powerful practitioners died, their profound understanding of the Deca, the fundamental forces of nature, sometimes lingered after death. This energy created fields of concentrated power around their bodies, offering incredible opportunities for those who could comprehend them. Moving with purpose, Zane's pace remained impressive despite the sealed vital energy. Within half an hour, he'd covered dozens of kilometers, reaching the first of many staircases.
No point wasting time down here. The real power's up top. The higher I go, the more powerful the Decas become.
For 3 grueling days, Zane climbed. Each level presented its own trials, from harsh terrain to stifling atmospheres. The absence of vital energy made every step a test of pure physical endurance. But he pressed on, driven by the promise of power that awaited above. Finally, on the 4th day, he reached the 5th floor. The environment here was radically different from the levels below. A vast desert stretched before him, with raging winds whipping up violent sandstorms that blotted out the sky. Nothing green survived in this hostile realm, only endless expanses of gold and crimson sand beneath a merciless sun.
2 months isn't much time. Gotta find a suitable corpse fast. The higher the expert's understanding of the Deca was in life, the more valuable their remains are for comprehension.
Without hesitation, he ventured into the desert. The scorching winds felt like burning blades against his skin, each gust carrying enough force to flay ordinary flesh from bone. Only his exceptionally conditioned body allowed him to press forward where others would have fallen.
Finding these corpses might come down to luck, but luck's never failed me before. Each one has its own unique properties, its own understanding of nature's laws.
Moving with remarkable agility, despite the hostile environment and sealed vital energy, Zane covered hundreds of meters in each bound, like a swallow skimming across the sand. His movements, honed through countless battles and training, allowed him to traverse the treacherous terrain efficiently. 3 hours passed as he searched the endless desert, each moment bringing new challenges from the relentless environment. Then, Zane froze, his attention drawn to something in the distance. There, lying quietly in the midst of the desert, was a corpse. Above it, a blue cyclone spun continuously, defying the natural winds around it. This wasn't just any Deca. This was something special.
By all the heavens, that's the Deca of Wind.
The sight left Zane momentarily speechless. After all his searching, all the climbing through the tower's levels, he'd found exactly what he'd been seeking, a chance to comprehend one of the fundamental forces of nature itself.